All right, everybody, welcome to Journey into Power, the live series with Baron Baptiste. He is joining us here in any second now, but I just wanted to welcome everybody. I see you already got started in the chat, sharing where you're from: San Francisco, Buffalo, Colorado, Minnesota, Portland, Ohio, Oregon, Canada, Connecticut, Indiana. Oh, you guys are just, I mean, this is just so amazing to see everybody calling in, not just from the States, but globally. This is a global community of like-minded and like-hearted souls. And we're just so grateful you guys are here. We're grateful to be a part of this. And I just wanted to go over some logistics really quick right before we welcome Baron. He is going to be interactive with everybody. So, a couple of things are going to help us all have the best experience with that. One of them is if you guys go up to some people are super familiar with Zoom, but not everybody is. So I'm just going to do a quick little mechanics here. Scroll to the very top, scroll over where it says the word view, and there's this little grid button. If you make sure to click on speaker view, then when Baron is sharing, or when he calls on one of us to share, we'll really be able to see that person fully on the screen, and then everyone else we can scroll on the side. Otherwise, we love seeing everybody's faces, but it will be harder to see him if you keep it in grid view. So click over onto speaker view instead of gallery or grid. The second thing is, this is going to be very interactive, and Baron is going to be calling on us to share, as he always does, so that we can really experience the results together. The best way to share in Zoom, there's two ways. One is to raise your hand. That's the best way. If you can't get it to work, and I'm going to explain how to get it to work, but if you still can't, you can put your name in the chat and one of our team members will call on you. But sometimes names get lost in chat. As you see, we have a very active, lively community that loves to engage. And so your name could get lost. So you can either share it again or follow me if you can. Scroll down to the bottom of your Zoom screen where you see a little heart, just like that, Tracy. Amen. She's got it. A little heart. And I do want everyone to test this now. Click on that little heart that says react. It's not going to put a heart on the screen yet. It will open a window that has several things to choose from. On the very bottom, you will see a button that says raise hand. So I want everyone to click raise hand right now. Boom, just like that. All right, now everybody push this same button and lower your hands. Awesome. We have got that figured out. And as you can see, if you notice, it will put you in the order in which you raised your hand. So that is a really easy way for our team to keep track of who raised their hand first. And then, of course, throughout Baron's sharing and teaching and your community members engaging with their shares, you are welcome to put in those other little effects that you saw some people do just above where it says raise hand. There's heart emojis, there's celebration emojis. And so we can just clap silently on our screen, or we can send an emoji to send some love together to everybody. We do want everyone to make sure you stay muted so that we don't disrupt the training that is going to be going on. This is not a talking head experience, right? This is an immersive training with Baron himself, right out of his best-selling book that has changed the lives of millions of people all over this planet. And this is the first time he's done a series like this. So we want to be really cognizant of making sure we stay muted so those random background noises don't come on. And last but not least, we love, 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 love to have cameras on so we can see your shiny, happy faces and just know that everyone is paying attention, is engaged in the work, not being distracted. So please shut phones off, shut notifications off, and to entice you even more, to keep your cameras on so we can see and engage with you. We are going to be giving away at the end 2 prizes. This is going to be a hand-signed copy of Journey into Power from Baron himself. We will mail that to you. I'm going to pick 2 people at the end that I saw kept, and now of course, can't pick everybody. So even if you kept your cameras on and engaged in the chat, I'm just going to pick 2 people, but just to make sure we have some extra incentives there, we are going to be giving those away at the end of each one of these calls. And just a reminder that these are not the same. This is a series. Each one of these days has a different time and or different topic. And so there's today and there's Wednesday night at the same time, and then there's Saturday at and first, Cindy, can you mute? And so you guys will get, if you can't come live, you won't get to share your shares and have the full experience, but there will be a replay because we understand life happens sometimes. So that's all for the mechanics. Everybody good with that? If you're good with that, give me a 2 thumbs up. All right. Again, if you do have any questions about raising a hand or anything, go ahead and put it in the chat. I'll take over answering questions there now. And then I'm going to pass the time over to the man of the hour that we all came to see, Baron Baptiste.
Wow, what an introduction. Thank you, Debbie. And so good to be here with all of you. Really phenomenal. They're all the people that are here on Zoom with us. Looks like there's over 120-ish. And then we've got people on YouTube watching, Facebook, Instagram, on Twitter, or known as X. So welcome, everyone. And I'm very excited about this. It's actually my first time doing a masterclass like this, a series on the book. I thought I had a copy here, but Journey into Power. Most of you, if you're on the call right now, you know of the book. And it's really great. For me, I wrote that book in 2002. What's that, 24 years ago. And so much of what's in that book is timeless to me, in the practice, as we practice yoga and we practice growth and development of ourselves. When I look at the book, I'm like, back in 2022, when I was a spring chicken, we were on to something in Baptiste Yoga. So I'm really, grateful to get to be with you today and Wednesday and Saturday. And really each series, each session builds in the overall series of these 3 sessions together. What I want to do on the call here, actually pull up the first slide, would you, Annetta? I know Debbie touched on where everyone's from, but if you would put in the chat, so here, day 1, today we're talking about the 8 universal principles for stepping up to the edge in your practice and in life. Day 2, building your daily practice and healthy poses. Day 3, the 7 most common mental mistakes in yoga practice and how to avoid them. And then the next slide, where are you joining from tonight? Put that in the chat. I know we started out, Debbie called some of them out, but pull those up. If you all just put in the chat, where are you from?
All right, we got Lisa coming in from California. There's a lot of people coming in. Amy from Philadelphia, Andrea from Connecticut, Pittsburgh, New Jersey, San Francisco, Texas, some more Texas, Minnesota, New York, Rhode Island, Georgia, Pennsylvania, Turkey, welcome, Chicago, Iowa, San Mateo, Buffalo, Folsom, California, North Carolina, Boston, Grass Valley, California, Buffalo, New York, New Jersey, Montreal, Canada, Oklahoma, Massachusetts, New York, Arkansas, New Jersey, North Carolina, lots of North Carolina, Oregon, Iceland, welcome. Santa Rosa, California, welcome. New York, North Carolina, Ohio, Ontario, Canada, Florida, DC, El Dorado Hills, California, Oregon, Alabama, Arlington, Virginia, New York, Bama. What's up, Bama? South Jersey, Illinois, Calgary. Great to see you too. Colorado, Frankfurt, Germany, Syracuse, Toronto, Dallas, New Zealand, Boston, Florida. Oh my goodness, you all really showed up big tonight. Davis, California, Massachusetts, DC, Austin, some more Texas, Nashville, and Connecticut. Great to see everybody. I'm coming to you from Idaho.
All right. Wow. Amazing. Amazing. I am blown away. Really, from all around the world, heard from all around the world. Here we are. Okay, so what we're going to do, I want to lay a framework for the 8 principles of stepping up to the edge. So I want to lay a framework. I want to break some things down. I want to break down the title, Journey into Power, and to give some context. And then I want to get into the 8 principles with you, and I'll take shares from there. So let's pull up the first slide. Okay, the word journey. Let's just take a look at the word journey. All right, journey comes from Old French, journée, which means a day's travel. Originally, it meant a day's travel, not the destination. Let me shrink my screen here. Not a destination, just the distance you could travel in one day. One step, then another, then another. Transformation works the same way. It happens step by step, practice by practice, moment by moment, breath by breath. Type in the chat, will you? Kind of want to find out from you, what journey are you currently on in your life right now? So when we say it's a day's travel, it's like a day is made up of hours, minutes, moments, right nows. What's the journey that's right here? What are you dealing with? What are you facing at this step in your journey? Drop it in the chat. That gives me some context, and to get a sense of where you're at. Then I can speak also into what you're dealing with. We can frame it. And then you, as we're going through this conversation together, you want to listen for where you're at, what you're dealing with, what you want to have happen, what's already working, what's not. Yeah, go for it, Nick. Why don't you call it out? A lot of good
ones. Yeah, good. Amy says new chapter. Cindy says leadership. Chris says leadership. Gianna says a new chapter. Stephanie says growth. Karen says growth. Erica says leadership. Servint says grief journey. Richard, a new chapter. Andrea, a new chapter. Sydney, growth. Jerry, new decade. Catherine, new chapter. Ted, growth. Bridget, new chapter. Growth. Carol says healing and a new chapter. Jenny, growth. Allison, growth. James, all of the above. Becca just had a rotator cuff surgery, so need to get back to yoga. Nancy, healing and growth. Diana, growth. Cynthia, possibility. Claire, a new chapter. Heidi, a new chapter. The Omis tribe, healing and a new chapter. Robert, a new chapter. Andrea, a new chapter and leadership. Diana, transition. Cindy Martin, growth. Mark, teacher training. Ryan, openness. Kim, moving into a new house. Anna and Brian, a new chapter with a dash of growth. Stacy, a new chapter. Josette, growth. Dana Marie, growth. Mary, new chapter. Megan, growth and leadership. Leanne, reestablishing my practice to teach again. Jennifer, a new decade. Tanyan, integration. Christy, a new chapter, healing and growth. Margaret's new chapter. Aaron Cabral, career change and yoga teacher training. Iceland power yoga, sadness and surrender. Jen, retiring, moving, reinventing. Joelle, leadership and healing. Rebecca, teacher training and leadership. Cindy, new beginnings. Annette, change, menopause, grandparenthood, changing career into health wellness coach. Molly, a new chapter or evolution. Pilar, growth and coaching. T-Mac, new chapter of growth, leadership and self-love. Angela, creating and leadership. Brenda, transition and growth. Allison,
okay.
Yes, a lot.
Going. That's good.
Way to go, everyone.
Yeah,
good shares.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So wherever you are in your journey, this is where you want to listen from as we're going through the conversation here. Okay. So now let's bring up the next slide here. So let's distinguish power here. Let's just bring up the definition like that. So it comes from the Latin posse, to be able, capacity, ability to act, capability. So we're in a journey into power. Yeah. Now let's look at center. So I want you to listen to this from the center of your being, but the center is the reference point in which all of the work we do and this conversation of the 8 principles of stepping up to the edge is really oriented. It's the place to look from. The center is measured from here outward. So let's get into this. So it comes from the Greek root kentron, the central point from which everything is organized, the center. The center is the place from which everything organized, everything balanced, and everything aligns. In martial arts, it's called the hara. In Chinese medicine, it is known as the dantian. In yoga, it is understood as the navel center. Different traditions, yet the same discovery. Power comes from the center, okay? The center of a circle. Every circle has a center. Without the center, there is no circle. So we're establishing center here, yeah? Imagine a circle. The center is the origin point. Everything expands outward from the center. The edge exists because the center exists. And if you lose the center, the structure collapses. The wheel, the rim spins fast, the hub stays still. Everything depends on the hub. In a wheel, the rim spins rapidly, but the hub barely moves. The stability of the wheel depends entirely on the hub. The same is true in practice, in a pose. The same is true in life. The eye of the storm. Think about a hurricane. At the center of the storm is the eye, the calmest place. When we lose center, we feel the storm. When we return to center, stability and clarity return. So in the chat, what situations in your life tend to pull you off center? You could look in your practice. You could look in anywhere in your life, on the mat, off the mat. But just type in the chat, what situations in your life tend to pull you off center?
All right, we've got some great ones coming
Go
in.
for it. Yeah.
All right. Amy, uncertainty. Megan, fear. Stacy, fear. Jen, worry about my kids. Chris, challenging relationships. Ryan, pain. Donna, uncertainty. Richard, all of the above. Robert, uncertainty and pressure. Diana, unexpected change. Carol, stress, fear, conflict. Cindy, stress. Cynthia, drama. Heidi, fear of failure. Allison, uncertainty. Mark, stress. Annette, uncertainty, lack of control. Karen, conflict. Catherine, stress. Stephanie, uncertainty. Sydney, uncertainty in the future. Christy, fear, pressure, uncertainty. Jean, work, severe fatigue. Heidi, expectations. Erica, current climate. Elizabeth, when kids are having a hard time. Omi's tribe, anger or conflict. Andrea, all of those. Margaret, uncertainty and fear. Kim, living through renovation. Stress and chaos. Megan, negativity. Diana, mental blocks and fear. Benika, finances. Leanne, stress in finances. Elizabeth, politics. Josette, uncertainty and stress. Brenda,
Okay.
You got it.
Yeah, good. So you all get, we could keep going, right? But can you all get, those are all mostly based out of your circumstances. Yeah. And at the center, But if we went to each one of you, you also have a sense of at the center, the ground of your being, at the center of your body, the center of your being, there's a stillness, there's a calm, there's an equanimity. So I just want a presence. There's something about the center. When you're taken off center, you're thrown into all those things, let's say. Isn't to say those things aren't real. Those things you're experiencing, they're real in your experience, they're happening, but consider they're in contrast to your center. We just want to distinguish circumstances, situations from your center. Yeah. Okay, let's go. Next slide, please. So now let's talk about the edge. So we're getting into the 8 principles at the edge. So growth happens at the edge, but we must approach and expand to the edge from the center. Now, here is something important. Growth does not happen at the center. Growth happens at the edge of comfort, the edge of what we believe is possible, the edge of our certainty. Here is the key insight. If we approach the edge without center, we become reactive. We resist, we tighten, we retreat. But if we approach the edge from center, something different happens. We expand, just like a circle expands outward from the center. And when we lose our center at the edge, the 8 universal principles give us access back to center. Okay? So type in the chat, where in your life are you currently at an edge? In your practice, relationships, leading and teaching, a decision, a transition, something in your circumstances? Just drop in the chat.
Megan says teaching. Amy says transition. Gianna, a transition. Anna and Brian, professional. Well, I lost you. Jerry, it's moving fast. Make it a little bit bigger. Okay, Karen says transition. Stacy, practice and teaching. Benika, relationships. Rebecca, practice and relationship. Erica, all of the above. Danielle, transition. Donna, health and family. Chris, launching a new leadership coaching program. Cynthia, new opportunities. Stephanie, transition. Leanne, education and career transition. Kelly, learned from a great psychic this past weekend. He illuminated that we are both already aware of with our better words, spiritual vastness and awareness. Elizabeth, transition. Robert, transition in teaching. Ted, leading in teaching. Becca, at the end of life for a parent. Brenda, uncertainty, what direction to go. Sydney, teaching, transition. Nancy, what want to retire but have to work. Heidi, lifestyle change for health. Cindy, aging parents. Joelle, leading. Katie, how I'm showing up professionally and personally. Catherine, children and parents. James, on the edge, full time. Sherry, practice is changing due to physical limitations. Andrea, leadership, practice, identity.
Okay. Good. We all get the gist of that, right? It's all present here. So let's pull up the next slide. Thank you for sharing all that, you all. Really good. So when we reach the edge, the mind often wants to avoid, resist, retreat. The 8 universal principles guide us through that moment, those moments when you want to avoid, resist, retreat. And most importantly, they are an access back to center when we lose it. So consider that these 8 principles that we're going to go through are an access back to center. They're practices. Yeah, they're practices that you can pull up as you need them. And when you practice something over time, you develop the skillfulness, you develop the muscle, you develop mastery if you practice them. These 8 universal principles for stepping up to the edge are not philosophy. They are practices that help us meet the edge. Beyond the edge is new power, aliveness, and freedom. The 8 universal principles. Here we go. So we are either now here or nowhere. All of life happens right now, but the mind drifts into the past and future, into story, into worry, into judgment, into distraction. And when the mind drifts, we are nowhere, lost to reality. Presence brings us back to now here. The power of practice is discovering how to return again and again. So what have you, so I'm opening up the floor to hear from all of you. I'd love to hear from all of you, especially those of you who feel you have nothing important to say or you're scared to share. Here's an opportunity to step up to your edge in your sharing and expressing of yourself. But now, here or nowhere, who would like to share? If you don't want to share verbally, then put your answer in the chat. Who would like to share? Now, here, what do you know about? You're either now, here, or nowhere. What have you discovered? Or what do you want to discover about nowhere, now, here?
Joelle.
Okay, I'll be vulnerable and I'll share. Being
Okay.
nowhere to me is not peaceful. It's a portion, an area of conflict with me. When I feel like I'm nowhere and I'm not in the present moment, then I've lost a sense of peace in who I am.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
How much of your life or days do you spend in kind of nowhere, in that space you described? Yeah.
A lot more than I want to be perfectly honest with you. I have to continue to practice to bring myself back to the moment, to be in the moment, because with everything that life has going on, especially right now, whether it's work or your family or even what's happening in our world today, I feel like I'm constantly distracted, which leads me to that place of not being in the moment, but being distracted. So a lot.
Yeah, very good. And I like you pointed to something. You said you have to practice
Mhm.
to stay present. Is that it? And connected to
Absolutely.
reality? Yeah. And
Absolutely.
yeah. And so what there is to do in this conversation is look at and listen from, and I'm speaking to everyone, and thank you for sharing. Like, this is fantastic, that you're, like you say, being vulnerable, Joelle, and stepping up to your edge here and sharing authentically and graciously. And but as we're going through these practices, just note that they are practices. So the thing to get present here in this principle, I'm either now here or I'm nowhere, lost to reality. You get, when we're checked out, could you see that in your life? When you're not present in your life, you're not checked in, life's blurry, like you're living in a blurry world. Yeah. And then your center is always right here. Yeah. And so this practice is simply the acknowledgement, like it's the awareness of, okay, Baron, you're not here. Joelle, okay, Joelle, choke chain, back to find my feet, right? Find my eyes, see the surroundings, get present to my environment, the physical universe, see the people in front of me, get out of the head kind of thing. Yeah. But it's awareness, right? So really, this is for everyone. The first principle here is that awareness that, wait, I'm in nowhere land right here in a fog. Yeah. And there is another place called now here, related to reality. Yeah. That's what this is. Very good. You good leaving it right here? Thank you. Yeah, really good. Thank you, Joelle. Appreciate it. Who else?
Amy, I believe your hand was up first.
Oh, hi, Baron.
Hey, Amy. Good to see you. Good to see you. Where are you located in the world?
Philly.
Philly. Nice. Nice. Really good.
So I'm finding myself currently, I'm gonna put it out there. being vulnerable. I just turned 45 on Monday. My daughter's about to go to college, my only daughter. So it's a huge transition of life happening. And I'm finding myself more so in the future, like thinking what's next rather than what's here. So it's been kind of a challenge for me, like what transitions are happening. While I'm present to the transitions that are about to occur, it's almost like there's a sense of like my attention is going to the next thing rather than here. And I'm finding myself in that space right now.
Yeah, yeah, good. And what are you seeing out of this, out of what you're sharing inside of this principle? Like I'm now here, or you get what we mean by nowhere. Yeah.
Mhm.
Like nowhere is everywhere other than here. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah. um, yeah, I don't know. I do feel like I'm in a fog, in a sense. So even in you saying that, like it kind of landed with me, but I'm also like, I don't know. I feel like I'm nowhere, but I'm here, but I'm nowhere.
Yeah, you're in the experience of feeling
Yeah.
like not connected, like nowhere, not really connected.
When I do feel connected is in my practice. Like when I'm moving
Yeah.
and breathing, I'm here. Like I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm on the mat, I'm here. Whether it's even working out, like I'm there. And then as soon as I'm off, it's like I'm back to nowhere.
Yeah. 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 Really good. Well, could you see what's available out of this principle is like, okay, wait, Amy, you're nowhere, get here. And then, okay, get here and get here and get here. That's the practice. Yeah. Is like catching ourselves. Like, Baron, you're not listening. Like my kids would often say when they were smaller, like, Dad, you're not listening. And I'd be like, okay, right. You're right. I wasn't listening. Now I am. And then they typically say, it's too late. It's too late. You missed out. I'm not going to tell you now. But it took that like something to disrupt.
Mm.
Right. And it's like, we can empower people around us like, hey, you're not listening, and be available for that feedback. Like is that your partner next to you?
That is him. Yes.
Yeah. How does it go when he tells you, hey, you're not listening? but if you are available for that, right? And first we have to be able to, regulate ourselves, right? It's like it starts here. And if we're really committed to being here, we suddenly open up to others giving us that feedback, or our environment giving us that feedback, right? But it really is the acknowledgement and just getting to know oneself in such a way that it's like, wait, Barry, you're not present. I was practicing this morning, and my mind went somewhere. I started thinking about, and I was like, wait, I missed that whole last sequence. Like I wasn't present in that whole last sequence, but I caught it. And I was like, wait, choke chain myself back, come to my breath, come to my drishti, get in my feet, feel my heart beating, like get in my body. And suddenly I see what's right in front of me. And it's almost like all the thoughts, all the chatter in the head, all the mental commentary, it just drops either just in the background into a whisper, or just eventually just disappears. When we're really here, there's, I think it was Eckhart Tolle who said, when you're truly listening, there's an absence of thinking. It's one way of looking at it. But when we're really listening, we're really present, really in our drishti, it's like the thinking mind kind of drops into the back. But it's a training ourselves, developing that muscle called being here when, right now. This is it. Like, this is my life, actually, right here, not in my head, not in drifting. Now, there's another thing called thinking, doing conscious, intentional thinking through things, different than just the thoughting, the thoughts just drifting along with thoughts, right? That's where we go away into nowhere. Yeah. Yeah. So using thinking as a tool rather than having thinking using us.
Mhm.
Yeah. Very good. Thank you for sharing.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
really good.
I appreciate it.
All right. Is there one more on this?
Ted, go ahead.
All right.
Oh, you are still muted.
There it is. Okay. Yeah, I started doing yoga about 3 years ago. I was retired and I needed a good stretch. And I went in there, and one of the things that I had issue with was my entire career, I was a corporate guy doing corporate things, and I never lived in the present. It was always the next project. When you got to the end of that project, it was the next project, right? And any gap between, you're kind of at a loss for who you were, what you were doing. Well, I retired, all of a sudden that was gone. And I started with the yoga, and I started all physically, you find those edges and you get into that and you start loosening up and you start feeling better. And then I started to listen to what was going on. And then I started to realize that I was sitting down after experiencing all this, and I was sitting down under my deck one day. And I actually thought to myself, I've got everything I need right here, right now. And, it just clicked for me that you didn't have to keep striving going into,
Yeah.
the future. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You get what you had right here, so,
Yeah. Yeah. Almost, you almost come to an experience of gratitude,
yeah,
perhaps.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so the point is I'm already halfway through my 200, and, I want to teach because I want people to experience this, it's good stuff.
Yeah. And do you sense a new kind of purpose for yourself through teaching?
Yeah, but it's a
Yeah.
purpose. It's not capital P purpose. That's what drove me crazy, because you had to have purpose when you retired, right? It's
Yeah.
P. It finds
Yeah.
you. You don't have to go out there and try to dig for it,
Yeah. Well, it's a different way of being, right?
Yeah.
With life. Yeah. Where you're not trying to get somewhere, you're not chasing something. You're not like, most people, when I look around, I'm like, they're always trying to get somewhere, get somewhere, get somewhere, get somewhere, but they don't really know where they're going
Yeah. It's all
because
about
they're not,
an outcome.
you've got to be from the center, right? When
Yeah.
you're at the center, it's you're in a new way of being with life, with yourself. And then that new way of being, you're given a new outlook.
Mhm.
And then you're given new kinds of thinking, new kinds of seeing, new kinds of ways of acting that are given from your state of being. And now you're being with life, and you're being with people, you're
Mhm.
being with reality, different than trying to get somewhere that really lives in land of nowhere.
Yep. Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
yeah. Yeah. Good awareness, Ted. Where are you in the world?
Cleveland.
Yeah, Cleveland, nice. Good, great
Yeah.
community
Proud
there.
Clevelander.
Yeah, good. All right, Ted, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, good. Okay, moving right along. Let's pull up the next slide, please. Be in the now and you'll know how. Most people think the problem is how, how to do something, how to approach something. What have you discovered about be in the now and you'll know how? What have you discovered, or what do you know about it, or what are you unsure about it that you'd like to share with me and all of us on the call here? What have you discovered about be in the now and you'll know how? Yeah, who would like to share?
We have a couple hands up.
Yeah.
Erica, your hand is up. Would you like to share?
Yeah, I forgot to take it down, but I will go ahead and share.
Yeah.
I would say, admittedly, I'm based in Minnesota, Minneapolis, Minnesota, and undoubtedly, it has been a really challenging time. And I would say that teaching during this time has been really challenging. And for me, it was how to do this. And when I just really surrendered into the present moment of it, and like, here is the now, like the breath is the only now, this is the container. Like these four walls are the container. I was able to, I mean, it's been surreal and some of the most challenging experiences to come out of my head, my body, my own experience with what's happening, to create a container for anyone that probably had that question on how, why, what, etc. So yeah.
Yeah, I love that, Erica. Yeah, I love that, because it's like, there's all this going on in your environment. You're dealing with whatever you're dealing with and all those situations of life. And you're like, how am I going to show up and teach, to give to others and I'm teaching yoga, right? It's like, calm and equanimity and strength and freedom and power when you're not necessarily experiencing that in the moment. And it's like, how am I going to show up? But when you step in front of the how, and I'm kind of recreating what you shared. So you can correct me if I'm missing it.
Great.
Yeah. And it's for all of us, because I think what you're sharing has huge value, just to consider that it's not about how to do something. It's really, you be in the now. And it's like the answers are there. So when you showed up to teach, it's like you're just there with human beings. Yeah. And you're just being there with them. And there is no how. There's just be present and give what's needed.
Yes.
Give the tools, the power, give power to those around you right now, with life happening right now.
Yeah.
And you're being in that, from and in the now. Yeah. Yeah, it's perfect. Isn't it amazing like that? It's like, that's my experience. It's like, I can show up, to teach, let's say, a level 1 training. And I could feel like, how am I going to do this? How is it going to go? Because right now I'm not totally in my center. I'm like, got all these details in my head about what has to happen. But I know the moment I step in front of that room, in front of the group, and I'm just with people, it just, all those concerns and considerations just drop away, and I can just be, relate. I can just be in the present and just relate to people based on what's needed, what's wanted, what I have to contribute.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
And I feel, like that is the edge, and just being really real and vulnerable allows that, for like, that is allowing others to feel that too, that the how will just naturally come, and I and others can get stuck in that because it's either the past or the future. And so it's been a really, like, being where my feet are, like where and just allowing the breath to essentially transform it into the why. Like, this is why I'm doing it.
Yeah. Very good. Yeah, I have a practice I do in this, inside of this principle. The answer to how is now. Is, if I'm not in the now, I know it. My brain's working on, how am I going to do this? But I know that that's not a powerful question. How? So it's like, Baron, stop, drop into your body, get present, find your feet, and fall awake. Just wake up to what's right and who's right in front of me, and just relate to reality, real people, real situations. And as you do that, my experience is, you do that more often, what starts to happen is you start building that muscle. And you kind of know, like, you have that experience of walking into the class, and maybe you had that noise in your head saying, how am I going to do this? Well, there was no how. You just showed up, and you just be with people. And then the answers of how or what to do is just given to you in the moment, and you be great with people in that moment, right? But it wasn't like that before, yeah. And then it's a practice, yeah. And the more we practice and develop this muscle, you start building confidence in it.
Mhm.
Yeah, just like you walking into that classroom, that gives you, if you keep that reference point, that's a center for you, the center of the circle of your life.
Yeah.
You stepped out to the edge there, the edge of
Yeah. Yeah.
uncertainty. Yeah.
Yeah. Because there is a real storm that
Yeah.
was happening, and everyone is in that storm. So to really be in the center of it,
Yeah.
it like it, yeah, it took a
Yeah.
lot, like, and takes a lot.
Yeah.
But
And as you were in that class, if you just recall being in that class, your experience as you were teaching and you went through it, by the time you brought everyone into Shavasana at the end of the practice, were you more in the experience of just being present with people?
yeah, yeah, I mean, not to be too graphic, I mean, it was
Yeah.
a class that um like everyone had found the news about Alex Preddy, and so I taught back-to-back classes, so everyone walking in sobbing and crying, and then sitting there and just being with the room
Yeah.
of Shavasana, like it created this place of safety and rest. And right now in this place is safety and rest, and I can be with the community. So
Yeah.
that was that, like that level of edge and bravery at that time was just to hold that space, like
Yeah.
was moving. Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. And you were in the experience of
Mhm.
rest and
Yeah.
present to like safety, like all is well in a
Yeah.
sense. In this moment, we're here together. And you
Yeah.
were in that experience. Yeah.
Yes.
You were being here now, and not how is this going to happen? It was like you got to the experience of being here now,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
all the how goes away. Yeah,
Yeah.
so good. Yeah, very good. Thank
Thank you.
you. Thank you. Okay. Let's move on, Annetta, to are there more hands up?
Yes, we do have more hands up. We have Carol, Annette. a
Okay,
few
we
more.
could take one more quick one, and then we'll move into the next principle. Okay.
Okay, Carol, would you like to share?
Hey, Carol.
Hello. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Hello. Hi. Yeah, be in the now and you'll know how. That has taken me many years here to practice. And I think that I've maybe finally figured it out. Because when I first started teaching, your nerves get you, and it's just, it's a terrible experience. But I kept closing that yoga room door, and I kept, leading and going through the sequence, and my nerves would get me, and I was just like winging it, kind of feel like, okay, we're all just out here winging it anyways. But as I just, caught my breath, took a deep breath, got into my feet, started looking at the people, and I just started knowing then really how to take the class and guide it and lead it. And it has really not only has it helped my
Mhm.
teaching and my yoga practice, but the fact that we get on our mat, we get into our breath, we get present, we find our center, we feel our feet, we feel our hands. As I have taken that practice out into my daily life, that is what has really changed how I am now present, and I'm not reacting. I'm not going off immediately because, one of my teenagers mouths off at me, or, someone road rages against me as I'm, driving down the road. And that's just stuff doesn't bother me anymore. And I don't know if it's because I'm getting older, or what, but just um, being in the now as like in every moment, and and then when I'm trying new things, or I'm out there, I got to figure something out because I'm just out here winging it. As I get present and get into the now, the vision kind of unfolds in my mind's eye, and then I know how
Mhm.
to do it. If I'm working on a new, project or a new recipe or whatever, and I just stay grounded in my feet, find my breath, and it just unfolds out in front of me. And I can see then
Yeah.
the process of where I need to go, what I need to do, and then the feelings will pop up. And maybe it's, a panic. And I'm like, okay, recognize that feeling. Is panic going to help right now in this situation? And it's just, I don't know, it's taken a long time
I
of
got, yeah.
finding my breath and just using it, not only in the yoga room and on my mat when I'm practicing, but just in my everyday, every moment that, I'm doing something or interacting with people, or if I'm just sitting alone and,
Yeah.
worrying about my children, my
Yeah.
aging parent, like, wait a minute. And David Masters, didn't he explain what worry is? It's just a negative outcome of the future.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Very
so
good. Very good.
yeah,
I got it.
so
You're,
helpful.
yeah, you're speaking to, on the mat, the practice of getting present. Yeah. Your breath,
Mhm.
your body, bringing that practice off the mat into life. Yeah. With real people and real moments, real situations. And you're essentially have this contrast like, wait, can be here now. And then you're given the answers. You're given the know how from a deeper knowing than when you're spinning at the edge, when you have no center and you're just operating at the edge, there's just reactivity. Yeah. From the center, which lives right here now, you're given a alternative pathway, the ways to respond different than just reactivity at the edge. Yeah, very good. Thank you. Thank you, Carol. All right, moving right along. You could pull up the next slide. Growth is the most important thing there is. So life moves in one direction, growth or stagnation. Yeah, we're expanding or we're contracting. Nothing stays the same. Practice places us inside growth. Growth may feel uncomfortable, but discomfort is often the doorway to transformation. What have you discovered about growth being the most important thing there is? You could drop it into the chat. And would anyone like to share? What have you discovered about growth being the most important thing there is? Who would like to share?
Allison.
Okay, Allison.
Hi, Baron.
Hey, Allison. Good to see you. Where are you in the world?
Hawaii,
Hawaii. Oh, nice. What island?
Oahu.
Oh, beautiful. My family's from Oahu. Yeah.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah. Good. Yeah. What are you discovering about growth being the most important thing there is?
So, you had said in one of your practices that transformation begins when you start taking things away. And I've learned in myself, like my growth is when I start taking things away, like what is not needed, for my well being and my peace and what helps keep me grounded. So by removing things, I feel like I've been able to transform and grow.
Removing things, letting go of things, the unlearning of things, the subtraction of things.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And where or how is that the most important thing to you, that practice, above all other things?
I think because in order for you to be present, you need to kind of drop any of the other things that you might have thought you needed to do. So, you know, in my like limited experience, like as a single mom, feeling like I need to do this all and do that. And when I just drop that and I, you know, meditate, self-care in the morning, I can show up for the people in my life as a better mom, you know, that can grow and help them grow through the same types of practices.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like putting the oxygen mask on yourself first. Yeah. Yeah. Because if we're not growing, I know if I'm not growing, I'm no good for anyone else. Right. I like to call it self first, different than selfish, but self first, right? Who we are for ourselves, who we're being for and with ourselves. Then, you know, if that's of growth and expansion and someone who's expanding as a human being, we're that for others. Then that's who we're being for others by default, and you know, in purpose. Yeah.
And I do think that helps me show up for everybody else too, and show up for the community. And the things that I do keep are very important to me, and I can be better at them.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good. Very good. In a sense, we are the ceiling. I've always known that you're like, I'm the ceiling for my environment, for the others around me, and for myself. Yeah. Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's see. Who else would like to share?
Gianna.
Jana. Okay. Nick, after this, we'll hear if there's if you all put it in the chat, and Nick will read it off for you. Go for it, Jana.
Okay. So for right now for me, I'm in a big transition period in my life. Just finally stepping into the career that I've worked really hard to be in, and just like getting to that point. And growth for me has always come from showing up for myself. And my mom partially raised me on the principles of Baptiste yoga, and that's like part of the foundation that she created for me in her practice by bringing me along as a little girl. And what's it called? I was reading something that I wrote down. That growth being the most important thing for me above all else right now has been trying to find that center and those foundational bricks that my mom and my parents raised me with, and growing out from there into the woman that I want to become and into the woman that I step into every day with. And it really starts for me for showing up, and you know, the noise of life it overcomes a lot, but my breath always brings me back. So I've really been trying. I felt like I lost that, but I'm getting back to a point where I feel that breath in my everyday movement when I'm just not just on my mat. But I feel that, to me, perfection is not something I ever want, because when you're perfect, there's no room for growth. And I was on the aspect of growing is the best thing that you can do for yourself, and in turn for your community and the world, because if you're constantly working on those pillars and adding more things, not necessarily putting more on your plate, but expanding who you are as a human, that in turn expands, like just brings the net of your community bigger.
Oh yeah. Beautiful. Wow. I could not say it better than that. Yeah. It's so good. Yeah. And yeah, great work. And give your mom an acknowledgement from me too. She did a good job with you.
I will.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I really get that. Like who you are, who I am as a human being, and someone who's growing. And that's really the primary place to look is ourselves. And if we're growing, we impact our environment and others in our life, our community, the way you said it, and how we show up for work, how we show up for family, friends. It's like it all lives within us, how life goes, like who we are for ourselves and who we are for others. And it all starts with growth, just holding that. So we can get off track. Like you said, for a while, you got off track, like you forgot about your breath and these tools and practices you have, but then you pulled yourself back, right? You came back to it. And it's like that, but this is the practice. Wait, Baron, if you're stuck in a situation, growth is the most important thing. Like the only thing that's really going to elevate me out of this situation. So I could, to make the higher call at each step as I'm walking through the fire or as I'm walking through the darkness before the dawn. It's like, that's the place where I've got to work, on myself, where I've got to grow, where I've got to put myself in environments on the mat or play around people who are going to elevate me or allow me to do the work I need to do so that I'm growing in that way. Yeah. Yeah. Very good. It's Gianna. Is that how you pronounce your name? Gianna?
Yes,
Gianna. Yeah. Where are you located in the world?
I'm in Philadelphia.
Oh, nice. I love it. Yeah, I lived out in the main line for like 6 years out in Gladwin. Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
Cool
I heard
area.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I worked downtown at the Veterans Stadium when it was around, but all right. Yeah, old school. Okay, thank you. Good work. All right, moving along. Let's pull up the next principle, Annetta. Exceed yourself to find your exceeding self. Breakthrough happens when we exceed what we believe is possible. The limits we experience are often the limits we have accepted. Practice invites us to step beyond those limits. And when we do, we discover a larger version of ourselves. What have you discovered about exceeding yourself to find your exceeding self? Who would like to share? Also drop it into the chat. Oh, Nick, we got to come back. We'll come back, Nick, to this one. We'll come to the chat after this one. Will you remind me, Annetta?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's keep going. You pull that slide up. So who would like to share, or you could leave the slide off. Who would like to share on exceeding yourself to find your exceeding self? Stepping off the edge, beyond the edge, where there's aliveness and where fear might be right there, but you exceed yourself. What have you discovered about exceeding yourself to find your exceeding yourself? Maybe you're someone who runs away in relationships and then you discovered, well, wait, what if I stay and work through this because this person in my life is actually worth that? And you see something that you exceed your, and then you stayed and you worked through something, you discovered something for yourself. Or you're in a pose on the mat, you're holding wheel and you want to just jump out. You want to get out of it, but you stay and you discover something through staying. You exceeded yourself. And when we say exceed yourself, you could drop the slide. It has to do with exceeding what you think is possible, what you think you can do or can't do, cannot do. Yeah, who would like to share? What are you discovering about exceeding yourself to find your exceeding self? Yeah.
Savon has her hand up. Savon.
Okay, Savon. Yeah. Hey, Savon. I think you just have to unmute.
Can you hear me now or no?
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
I think for me, I've discovered things that had I just sat and thought about it, I wouldn't have been able to do. I very recently have been doing two things that are typically delegated to two very different people. And I'm trained to do both of them. And I, for a long time, did not believe I could do these two things at the same time, because they're normally done by two very different people. And I just decided to show up and start doing it. And I've had a lot of days where I'm really tired and it's very messy and I cry a lot. But I realized that I could do it, and I could do it in a very different way than if I had just then if I had sat and thought about it, I would have never tried. But by just showing up and doing it, I discovered things were possible.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good. And what did you discover about yourself or who you are on the other side of going through those experiences? And I'm guessing before you got to the other side, you had to confront fear and doubt and uncertainties and yada yada, stories like that.
Yeah.
Worry. Yeah.
I'm in it right now. So I'm starting to see a lot of the stories that I have.
Yeah.
And I've kind of recognized how silly a lot of them are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of things that people told me were what's possible rather than what I actually can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
You're discovering something, how those stories don't give you any real power. And they're they're made up, right?
Yeah,
they're made up.
They are made up.
Yeah.
And can control, they're ways to control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can start seeing that, wait, just get myself here, be here, and you'll know what to do. Yeah. Be in the now. You'll know how to respond, or you don't have to overthink it all. Yeah. Which brings us to the next principle. All right. Thank you. Yeah. Really good. Thank you.
There's a couple shares in the chat, Baron.
All right. Go for it.
Yep. Joel says, when I push myself, I know what I can do and where I need to respect my limits. And Pilar says, if I don't stay and try, I never know what is possible. When I have, I realize now how much more that I can do.
Okay, good. Good. Very good. Very good. Let's pull up the next slide. Thank you. In order to heal, you need to feel. Many of us are taught to avoid difficult emotions, body sensations, etc. We push them away, ignore them, distract ourselves from them, but emotions that are avoided are not healed. And that goes, whether emotions or issues in the body, maybe your body is numb. The more we push things away and we're not willing to experience them, well, they hang around, they linger. Yeah. So healing, the word heal means whole. Healing is making something whole. Healing begins when we are willing to feel. Practice creates a space where we can meet ourselves honestly. What have you discovered about heal through feeling? So I'm using the word feeling. Because I use that in the book. I think more, and I wanted to stay consistent here. So it's feeling, and it's also another way of saying it is experiencing. Experiencing what you're experiencing. You could drop the slide. Who would like to share, or you could put it in the chat. But what are you discovering, or what have you discovered about, what is it to heal through experiencing what you're experiencing, facing and feeling what there is to feel in order to accept it, to get to the other side of it. If you've had some kind of discovery around that, I'd love to hear from you.
Ryan has his hand up, Baron.
All right, Ryan.
What's up, Baron? How are you, man? Really appreciate it.
Yeah, good.
Love the
Good having you. Wait, where are you in the world, Ryan?
I am also in Philadelphia.
Okay, Philly's representing. Okay, good.
Gotta love
what
it.
What are you seeing about this?
Yeah, I love this principle a lot. I resonate with it a lot. I had like a life-altering surgery a little over a year ago, and the entirety of 2025, I felt like you said, like a fraction of myself, and healing is whole. Being able to heal and being able to feel your most self means that you are whole, means that you are almost like kind of filling a void. And this surgery was just like requiring me just to show up, just to go to doctor's appointments, just to feel a feeling that I hadn't really felt before, and to kind of come to terms with it being my new normal. And I think that, similar to Savan just mentioned in the last principle, that like just saying yes, just showing up. And even though there's going to be so many times that you feel almost disconnected from your own reality, you kind of have to accept it. And I think that the more that you fall in love with the healing process, the more that you do realize that like your own journey is going to be such a great story. It's like it's another chapter. I'm a 26-year-old guy, and I felt like I was crippled, and it was
Yeah.
horrible. It felt absolutely horrible. And I think that having a good support system, having something to wake up for every single day, and knowing that there is healing to be done, I think that accepting your imperfections and knowing that there is room to grow, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing, even though you might be struggling with something, and trying to feel that wholeness again.
Yeah, very good. I got all of that. And then I'm going to bring it over to another kind of edge for you, which is, and it may be here for you, or it's something to explore, but there's something about when we say experiencing what you're experiencing, you're just experiencing physically the shoulder you're dealing with, the pain, whatever's in there, whatever's happening, whatever the sensations, the energy around it. There's something about just experiencing what you're experiencing, including the whatever it is that's wanting to avoid it or gloss over it or power through it. It's like, no, wait, stop and drop in and just experiencing what I'm experiencing. My tendency to just avoid it or numb it or pretend it's not happening or just be the strong person. It's like you stop, you drop in, and you really experience like, okay, maybe there's fear there. You start getting, it's like peeling the layers of an onion or pulling the petals of an artichoke off. You start getting to the heart of the matter. And initially, maybe it's just physical pain, but you get under that pain, and then there's an energetic pain. Maybe there's emotional pain. You get underneath that, you experience, well, actually, there's fear here, like fear of how am I now going to be able to move and operate or do the things I used to do. You get underneath all that, and now you experience fear that's here. Maybe you experience resentment that's underneath that. And you get where I'm going. It's like peeling, the leaves of an artichoke, and you're getting down to the heart of the matter, but you're experiencing your way through these layers.
Yep.
Because it's layered typically, and especially when there's avoidance. If we're avoiding and we have an aversion to something, typically underneath that, there's some sense of fear. There's some, survival instinct that'll have us power through. But when you really slow down and experiencing what you're experiencing, you begin to experience old energy coming up and being released out. And then you start seeing things that maybe you need to act on. Maybe there are resentments. Maybe you resent yourself for hurting yourself. Maybe you resent someone else for hurting you, your shoulder even physically, but there's some, other underlying things that you haven't been able to experience or willing to experience or yada, yada. But it's like in the practice, we can really slow down and get present and experience what's actually happening. And there's its own kind of healing. We're being restored to wholeness that comes through that. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir. It's density. A lot of density.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. All right, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nick, do you want to share a few of the chats?
You got it. Sure do. Thanks for everyone for sharing. Allison, feel to heal. Thank you. Feel to heal in my grieving journey meant giving myself permission to experience the sadness, pain, and memories of the loss instead of avoiding them. Not only does it help me heal, it keeps my sister alive. It also allowed me to help others on their grieving journey. Heidi, suffering from PTSD, I've let myself sit and feel the feelings, allow myself to be sad, angry, and grieve. Holding it inside just made it strengthen, but learning to sit in the feeling allowed me to get through the hard times. Marina, I've learned that the only way out is through. So in order to heal, you must go through whatever the feeling is. When we avoid or suppress, we don't go through. When we don't go through, we don't heal. Feeling is vulnerability, and vulnerability reveals what's there, and feeling what's there allows us to ultimately heal.
Oh, that's perfect. We can stop right there. That's well said. Yeah, all those. Very good. Thank you for sharing those. Okay, moving right along. We're coming up to the finish line on these. Think less, be more. The mind often believes thinking will solve everything, but overthinking pulls us away from presence. And presence is where clarity lives. Practice is not about thinking our way forward. It is about being present enough to see clearly. What have you discovered about think less, be more? What have you discovered about thinking less and be more often? Yeah. It's not like be more, like do more. It's just being more often. Is anyone have something to share about thinking less, being more, something you're discovering in the process of, or something you've discovered? Maybe you've discovered thinking less and being more opens up a whole new world of possibility. There's a new power, a new freedom, aliveness, vitality. You go from a dangerous world to a world where, yeah, there's danger, but there's also abundance. Okay, would anyone like to share?
Stephanie has her hand up.
Okay, Stephanie, let's go.
Let's do it.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, got you, Stephanie.
Yeah, great, thanks. From San Francisco. Hi, Saban. How you doing? She's in my practice as well.
Great.
I find like when I think less, I find that I'm grounded and everything comes from my heart. Like I speak more clearly. I'm happier. There's so much more that where everything else is just noise. So if I can get rid of that noise, then I feel like there's peace there, and I'm in my center.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm also like,
yeah, very good. Yeah, and how much of the the anxiety, the stress, the overwhelm, what it comes from
gone.
all that thinking, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing when you just come into being.
Yeah, it's
like
so true.
That,
100%.
all that drops away, right?
Yeah, it does.
Your whole outlook shifts in a moment
with that one breath.
Yeah, yeah, and you may have the same problems going on or the same challenges going on, but your relationship to those things shift when you're thinking less, or you're moving out of that headspace into the body and being space.
Yeah.
And it's available right now, right? We can always come out of our head right now. And whenever we come up out of our head, it's always going to be in a right now. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
What's possible on the other side of all that thinking into being? What becomes available?
Yeah, there's so much. I mean, it's like a flood of just peace and so many in harmony and just love. And there's so much that comes from that. And my brother says I've just transformed so much so thank you, Baron. Yeah. I mean, because without this practice, I probably would, who knows where I'd be, but I definitely am now grounded. I'm centered, and it's a space that I work at every day. Just, and my family, everybody around me loves me more now. I mean, they always love me, but they're appreciative, and they just go, "Oh, where's Stephanie? She's probably at yoga. She's doing," because there's something to be said. Like before, they'd always worry where I was. Like, oh my gosh, but now they know. It's like, don't bother.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing? Yeah. You have a practice. It's good for you and the people around you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They feel
it's brought peace.
It has.
To you.
I think I was always like that,
around you.
Black sheep. I was that black sheep that's always kind of, poking. And I still am the black sheep, but not in a way where it's impacting everybody in a negative tone.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good. Very good. Good work. All right. Thank you. Okay. Next slide up. Oh, Molly had her hand up, huh? Let's take Molly really quick. Molly.
Hi there, Baron.
Hey, Molly.
I'm going to be really quick. I'm just going to say that just doing is experiencing life. So you can make excuses about being cold outside or just putting a coat on and going outside or
Yeah.
not stepping out onto the dance floor because you're nervous because you're going to make a fool of yourself, but how much fun it is to dance.
Yeah.
That's all. You lose
Yeah.
life if you don't act.
Yeah. If you're
Simple.
overthinking it all, but as you
Yeah.
come into being, then you're free to act.
Yeah. Yeah,
and just
absolutely.
engage with, participate in life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Life
Exactly.
is happening, like you said, in the doing of it, the
Yep.
engaging with it. Right.
Exactly.
And then you're all that head overthink that all kind of drops away in the moment, right? When you're at that dance class or you're, whatever the thing you're engaging with, those concerns. I mean, maybe they're around the stratosphere, but they're not owning you. They don't have you. You have them. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Very good. Thank you, Molly. All right. Pull up the next slide, please. We are the sum total of our reactions. What have you discovered about your reactions? Anyone like to share? The sum total of reactions. To me, it's like we go through life. It's almost like a production line in a sense. If we're overreacting, that becomes the end of the production line where it's like we're a product. Maybe we're all knotted up. And, we're bound up with anxiety and stress and frustration and like that. But the other side of it is a non-reactive world where there's, we're able to respond, responsibility, the ability to respond freely from center to a different world and a different kind of production line. We go through experiences, but they don't necessarily cling on, or we don't collect them, consume them in the same kind of way that weighs us down. Who would like to share on this one? Anything you discovered?
Leah has her hand up.
All right, Leah, let's go.
Hi, Baron, and hi, everyone.
Hey, Leah, good to see you. Where are you?
I'm in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario.
Great. Canada.
In Canada, yes. What I noticed about reactions, I often blamed my reactions on other people. And so what I have come to understand is that it has to do with my own, it's just my own perceptions of my world around me. Once I started to take ownership of what was going on inside of me, I was able to allow a bigger healing. And so I have become less reactive. It's not totally gone. I'm in the process of becoming even more less reactive and more in that state of being able to observe things and then see what's going on inside of me and let go of the things that are going on inside of me. And so that's been a real gift of, the practice of yoga, the breathing, the moving, the meditation. Like I've been doing this for over 30 years of my life, and it's new all the time. My discovery is new all the time. And so that's what I've come to see now at this stage of my life is this deeper self-responsibility that my actions are coming from my own inside. It's not anybody else's fault. It's my own responsibility.
Yeah, very good. I got that. I love that. It is a responsibility, not responsibility like a burden. Often when people hear the word responsibility, it's like a burden. It's like taking on more. But this is actually what I'm hearing you share is you're taking responsibility, ownership in a sense. You're owning your reactivity. It's like, no one can make me upset. If others and if my reality lives just out there, like who I am, if my beingness, my confidence, my sense of self-worth all lives out there with others, and I'm assigning them the power to determine how I react, we're giving away all of our power, giving away our freedom, giving away our peace. But what I'm hearing you say is like, well, no, I'm actually taking ownership that for my ability to respond out of choice, in a sense, in the moment. Yeah. And
Yeah.
if something or someone says something they shouldn't say or does something they shouldn't do, I'm a choice of how I respond to that. And maybe I get my feathers ruffled for a moment, but it's like, stop, drop in. It's like, no, it lives over here with me. That's just all a mirror. Like whatever others or whatever's, it's a mirror. Yeah. And it's an opportunity to grow and
Yeah.
determine who I'm being and who I'm becoming. That's the sum total aspect of who I'm becoming through these moments, moment to moment. And I love it, being responsible. Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. For my own experience, being responsible for your own experience. Yeah.
Yeah, like the ownership is mine, and I'm discovering where love comes from by having that ownership.
Mm.
And so I always felt like love was just this concept. I never really, it was a concept, and I feel like now, because I have this ownership of my responsibility to my own life, that I can feel my heart. I could feel
Mhm.
I could feel true love moving from my heart. And I feel like my heart is actually illuminating my mind. That's the best way I could describe it, because now my mind is more alert
Mhm.
with having this self-ownership. And like you said, it's not a burden. It's it's a way of living and being, because I really want to choose to be free. I feel like this is the way to live a free life. So I'm
Mhm.
not constantly being moved around by my environment and in knots because things are not going the way I hoped they would go.
Yeah.
Speak. So this has been, it's a real beautiful gift of discovery, and I can
Yeah.
see it's ongoing.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. Thank you, Leah. Yeah. Very good. I love it. Okay. Next slide, please. All right. Don't try hard, try easy. So there's trying hard, there's trying easy. What have you discovered about try easy? Who would like to share? Where are you forcing something in your life right now? What might it look like to bring more ease into that situation? Yeah, or where have you had a breakthrough in trying hard as a kind of habitual pattern in the past to now you're actually going beyond trying easy, you're just bringing ease. Someone in the chat earlier said, I thought, there is no try, there's only do, Yoda. But yeah, just being in ease, at ease, and relating to situations from a space of ease. Would anyone like to share anything? Yeah. Nadia.
Hello. Hi, Baron. Nice to meet you.
You too. Good to see you.
Thank
Where
you
are
so
you?
much. Up in Sonoma County. I'm just halfway through my teacher training with Lisa Ilson. She's amazing.
Oh, she
In
is.
Sonoma.
Yeah.
She truly is.
Say hello to her for me.
I sure will. She is something else.
Yeah. I thought she's amazing, right?
She really is.
Yeah.
I was always the student in the very, very back of the class for years,
Yeah.
and she and I sort of connected, and now she's got me in the front of the class
Yeah.
for the first time ever. Now I'm doing this teaching, and it's just been an
So
amazing
good.
experience. So good.
You're in
so
good hands. She's a long time Baptiste,
Oh no,
phenomenal
I'm
teacher.
truly,
Yeah.
a phenomenal person.
So what are you discovering? Yeah. Or what
Oh
do you
my
have?
gosh, so
Yeah.
much, so much. I think the one thing, and it was just about the other slide, just real quick, but she had us read, the 4 agreements as
Yeah.
part of the teacher training, and that not taking things personally was huge for me.
Yeah.
I used to come to my mat, like I said, I'd be in the back, I'd be in tears most of the time because I was, I'm the mother of an addict, and I was trying and forcing, and I could never see straight. But since I've been doing the training and how she's teaching us, I'm really at much more peace and much more ease. And she says, that, like you say in the book, the effort's in the effort. So, as long as you make, the effort, the effort comes with ease. You know, it just seems to be much more ease because, and she always says, Lisa says, remember the P is for practice, not perfection. You know, and I think we're always trying to get focusing so much on making the moves, you know, the poses have to be this. And but you know, when I let go.
What did you let go of to get to more ease? You let go of something.
Oh, I let go of fear.
Yeah.
I have to say, I let go of fear.
Yeah.
And
Very
fear,
good.
I was in fear. I did not realize I was in, she made me realize this. I was constantly in fight or flight.
Yeah.
You know, is he dead? Is he dead? What's next? What's next?
Yeah.
Is it, I was, you know, so that's the only, you know, yoga was the only place in meditation where I could sort of get out of that space of fear. But now I've actually learned to let it go.
Yeah.
And so, you know, it's still a process getting me to the front, and I'm doing my, she's working on my community, but I'm not afraid anymore. I'm just think, well, I'm going to give it a go, and everybody in the, you know, if I mess up, I'll make it funny, and I don't know,
that's right. And as you go through that, you'll find ease in it.
Yeah, I'll find ease in it.
You're maybe, you're overthinking getting to the front.
Yeah,
There's some fear about,
overthinking,
and once you get to the front and you start playing with it and being at play, it'll be easeful there, right?
Yeah,
it's
easeful
like,
there.
and it's
and
like
just flowing,
giving up the
flow.
fear. Yeah.
Just giving up the fear and fear of, I kept thinking, what if I don't do it right? I don't remember what did I did on the left? I didn't do that. I'll just, I mean, and when I've seen other, you know, it rarely happens with Lisa's students, obviously, but we laugh about it. We, you know, I mean, it's just, and we all have a good time, and that's what makes it a community feeling and a, you know, like I said, it's a practice, isn't it? Like you always say, it's a practice.
It's a practice.
It's not perfection.
It's not a perfect. Yeah.
No, never be perfect.
Yeah.
You just keep practicing.
Yeah. You just keep going.
Yeah. So that's been really something I have
Very
let
good.
go of. It's been transformational. I mean, it's just such a great thing.
Yeah, it's really good. So trying hard is all that resistance and heaviness
so much
and
resistance.
significance.
Yeah.
And you give all that up, right? And you give up the
just give
fear
it up.
that's it's driving the show, the fear to try hard and get it right, or I've got to achieve, I've got to accomplish, I have to look like I have it all together. You know, I've got to look
But nobody does.
successful.
Nobody has it all together.
And nobody does. When you find that out, it's like, you know, joke was on me. Yeah. And then you show up light. You can just show up light because you realize nobody has it together.
Yeah. And she's really brought out the light back in me, you know, and really helped me get through the living in fear.
Yeah. Thank you.
You know, thank you so
Nadia.
much. Thank you everybody for listening. Sorry about
very
that.
Good.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah,
all right. Next slide up. All right. Next session, day 2 is Wednesday. This Wednesday, March 11th. Same time as today, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. We'll be kind of creating what it is to build your daily practice and healthy poses. So I'd love to have all of you here. What there is to do is be here on Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. All right. And then what's up next? Next slide. And the winners are, Debbie, handing it over to you.
Okay, this was really hard because you have built such an incredible community. I feel this way every time I get to participate with you. So there was a lot of people that were really intently participating with these beautiful shares on camera, in the chat. There were so many people that not only kept their cameras on, but I was watching, and they were, you can tell when someone's listening or when they're checked out doing other things. There were so many, but there were 2 that shared really early on and also kept their cameras on and kept engaged the entire time. So I chose these 2. They're probably not the only ones that did that, but this is what we're going with today because of the really early shares. Ted is the first one. So congratulations, Ted. I'll be reaching out to you to get your address to send you a signed copy of Journey into Power. And then also Amy Perez.
I love it. I love it. Good job. Good job. How fun is that? And if there's something specific you want me to write in your book, they'll email you and let us know, or I'll just sign it. But thank you all. It's been
Thank
a
you
privilege
so
and
much.
honor. Stay well and see you Wednesday.
Thanks, Baron.
Thank you so
Bye,
much.
y'all.
You,
Take
Baron.
care.